you might have heard of Loadout. It's a free first-person shooter that's very stylized in the way like Team Fortress 2. In fact, it's got a lot of similarities to Team Fortress 2 on the surface. It's definitely its own game, but you can see the influence that Team Fortress 2 had. Well, now the creators have released a separate beta game for a campaign mode of Loadout, focused on a new player versus enemy AI mode. It's also free to play and in beta, but is it worth your time in terms of gaming? The basis for Loadout is still here. The cartoon-stylized gunplay and wacky atmosphere is the backdrop for intense firefights with the enemy. If you're unaware of the draw of Loadout, the weapons that the player gets are customizable. There are 4 base weapons: beam, rifle, pulse, and rocket. The weapons have equipment that can be equipped in the trigger, stock, scope, magazine, and barrel locations, as well as some miscellaneous slots for other items as well. The items in question vary in what stats and effect they have. They can affect the main set of stats on the gun, including damage, rate of fire, reload speed, clip size, range, hip accuracy, aim accurability, yeah that's a word, and stability. They can also have other effects as well. They may give your weapon the ability to zoom in or make the weapon's bullet set an enemy on fire. Beyond that, they may affect the way the weapon fires itself, such as being slow to first fire, but then output projectiles in a speedy fashion, or make the projectile itself hug the ground when firing. Be aware that an item's description does not necessarily translate to what you think it means, but they give you a chance to test the weapon before using it, and it's definitely appreciated. With only being able to change to a different loadout, and not the items on your guns during the match, you need to note that you start with only one loadout slot available. Of course, you can get another loadout slot from either playing enough or paying for the extra content. This game is the free-to-play model, but there's no forcing you to pay for it. It works to an extent as it isn't required to pay to play, although you'll find out it can be frustrating with the randomness of the loot drops. The weapons are the draw in this game, and truly are its greatest strength. Playing around with your loadout, how you'd combine your 2 weapons, was truly what I enjoyed about this game in my first 4 hours of gameplay. Experimentation is the name of the game here, and I enjoyed it, even when the weapon I made didn't work the way I wanted it to. It was my fault, and honestly I kept the gunplay fresh for me during my playthrough. The controls here are reasonable, although I did find myself dash rolling way too often. It's my own fault, but I can't tell you how many times I dived off a cliff during an open map like that. But controls are solid, aiming is solid, and there's no problems on a surface level here. So let's go into the campaign mode. You'll be dropped into a map with 3 other players, hopefully. If you can't find 3 others, a bot takes the other person's place, and avoid this like the plague. I'll lead more into that later. Your best option is to find 3 friends to play with. You'll be given an objective to complete, which is not the same objective everyone on the map will have. For example, you'll be asked to get 2 headshots or to kill 5 grunts, which leads to this weird metagame. You may be dropped into a game where 3 other people, all having different or the same objective, which sounds cool at first until the combinations begin. If you all need headshots, well then you're all at long range most likely, and God forbid it's a control point map. Or if you need to kill grunts and everyone is killing them before you. The objectives do force different gameplay, force you to use your weapons to the advantage of the game, but at times they can really make you a lone wolf in my opinion. The AI is relatively straightforward. There's no major pattern recognition here or higher AI intelligence here. It has an objective and it goes straight at it. The modes vary in the campaign too. You start with basic capture the point type of maps, with enemy waves that come over and over again. The gunplay is good here, and the AI gives enough of a challenge to feel like they are stopping you, but not enough that it becomes a major hurdle in the early going. Granted, it's going to be dependent on your loadout, which can get you in trouble. The map you spawn on is random from what I see, which can mean that a weapon that might have worked in one map, such as the Groundhugger, won't work well in another. That can get frustrating, but you can still get around it. Make sure you mix up your 2 different weapons. You're going to want synergy between the 2 to cover all possibilities. Control point worked well with one exception I will get to, as it was a nice back and forth struggle. I will say this though, spawn protection. Not the regular type of spawn protection, but the other type of spawn protection. At times when defending a point, a wave would spawn right on top of you, and it's no fun to die like that. You'd have little chance as you'd be taking fire from 4 different enemies at once, and it caused me to bang my chair once or twice at the unfairness of the situation. It's going to happen to you once or twice during your playthroughs. I wish I could say the same about another mode. For some reason they decided to add a kill confirm mode in this game, and it simply doesn't work well. It's not the kind of mode that does well in a PvE type of setting. Here's the problem, the AI. Your AI is stupid. Kill confirm means you want to bunch together, partner together just in case that if you do go down, somebody else picks up your tag. The enemy AI does this very well. If you get a bot on your team, it will run headfirst off by itself. It knows where the enemy is, despite the fact that you may not see them on radar, as I've seen bots just beeline straight to an enemy, which would be fine if it may face another one bot, however that's usually not the case. The enemy AI packs together very well. Too well, in fact. You may get 1 or 2 kills that you can confirm if you do medium to long range, but you almost have to go short range in order to get it, and you'll die quickly doing that. They play well as a team, and you have to do the same. Bring a medic. Someone in your party should have a healing gun of some sort, as it will make your life a lot easier. Kill confirm works if the enemy teams are relatively even, but that's not the case here. The AI team is made up of a variety of soldiers, which I will get to later. You have your lower level ones, but then you have your high tier ones. They spawn at the same rate, and that's when things become problematic. That Grenadier, which I will get to later, will carry the enemy team. In various matches against AI teams in this mode, it tripled the score of the next player. And I don't think it does come down to skill in the end, it was just that overpowered. Speaking of the variety of enemy types, you have a typical grunt here, the peon, but you start seeing the experienced foot soldiers, the grunts, the grenadiers, and the berserkers. There's definitely a vast difference between the smallest soldier and the higher ones. Your deaths will most likely come from the latter rather than the former. In my opinion, the grenadier is overpowered. It can take some reasonable damage and not blink an eye, and can do massive damage to you and take you out very quickly. You want to get in close range. The amount of health it has is nothing to shake a stick at. It became a priority to take out every time I played. Granted, you want variety of enemies in this mode, but you also want to make it feel relatively balanced, and I can't say I felt that at times. I really want to rant on the Grenadier for a second. The inclusion of the enemy pisses me off in so many ways, and I think it's a big part of this. He delays the progression in so many ways. In particular, a control point game I played was made probably 8 times longer than it needed to be. Why? Well, simply the Grenadier would spawn and immediately throw a grenade of flame onto the point. You couldn't be on the point then, as you would die in seconds flat. That allowed him to take the point and stay there to counterbalance the capture we had gotten from 2 at that point. It became horrendous. All it would be was a back and forth with the same point for a good 5 minutes, and it became no fun because of that. Back and forth struggles can be entertaining at times, but here the back and forth struggle was the same thing over and over again. It wasn't the other enemy team, it was the one enemy that kept on screwing things up, and it felt problematic in order to try to take him out. There's a good game here, but it needs work and balance in my eyes. There's clear balance problems. Not to say that you shouldn't try it though. It's a fun game and it's free to play. Granted, it does not give an excuse for some of the problems in the game, but I will at least say this. The balance issues here seem to be ones that are correctable. The core controls and gameplay is still solid. It just needs a little bit of tweaking. If you're looking for a co-op game to try with friends, try this. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have a chance, leave some feedback and comments below. If you liked the video, hit that like button. And if you want more content like this, hit that subscribe button. This is Dragnick signing off, hoping that gaming brings as much fun to you as it does for me.